Let's unpack menopause. I've been thinking a lot about this topic
Hmm.
because I went to World Menopause Day lunch for premensal, and I've been attending heaps of events where it's for women and they're all 40 plus and they're all doing amazing events and things and careers. And there's just been a lot of talk about menopause. And I'm hearing a lot of talk about symptoms and what's going to happen. But what I'm not hearing is the positives. So I don't know if that's the same for you. Um, Obviously, I've met some amazing women and they're sharing all the positives with me that I will share with you. But in the media, in life, I'm hearing a lot of, yeah, we need to talk about what happens, the symptoms, but also I think there's another side to this. There's another story.
Love that. I love that. Tell us more, Candice. Tell us more.
So the women I'm meeting are all empowered and have started their careers and businesses and education after the age of 40. Some of them were raising kids for 20 years and then found themselves. I mean, they've done major things. These are some big names. I won't go into detail, but they're very, very much in their wise goddess era, wise queendom era. And as much as I want to talk about like all the symptoms that come with it, as I move into this era, I want to identify with the queendomness and less of the symptoms. And I don't want to minimize that for anybody else because it's everyone's own personal journey. But as someone who believes that I do create my own reality, I know that I'm going to face those things, but I want to keep aligning myself with, oh, I'm climbing this mountain because there's a castle on top.
Yeah, got you, got you. So are you talking about it more from an age perspective rather than, or are you talking it about the actual physical changes? What
I
perspective?
think it's all of it, isn't it? I mean, it's coming together. I don't think you can have one without the other. You can't have age, I guess, without some symptoms. Maybe some people can, some people don't have symptoms. But you also, the shedding of past self and entering this new era is quite physiological and energetic. So I think it's a whole package. So I guess my question to you is it possible to align our neurology with this is an exciting time rather than, oh my God, my youth, and I feel shit all the time?
Absolutely, yeah, yeah. As we know, as you said there, our story creates our reality. So I definitely think in the experience, and I can only talk about myself and the experience of, I guess, some women, is not even around even the menopause, but also our cycle in general, our periods and how we feel month to month. And personally, as I've coached people and I've seen myself through this work, the more that we may have suffered earlier with our periods and with our time of the month, and
Mm-hmm.
this many days before my period means this, and this is why I'm emotional and all the rest of it.
Mm-hmm.
The more work that people that I see have done on themselves, the less they experience highs and lows within the month. And I
Mm.
also, would believe that to be true as we go into, perimenopause, menopause, or, whatever we're labeling it. And I think it's that thing of it kind of all feeds into each other, right? So that, and this is not to be discompassionate, but the more that we feel psychologically shit, the more our hormones will be, heightened, let's say. So I think there
Mm.
can be this thing where we dismiss, oh, I've got my period, and this is, this is, or I'm going through menopause. But what that stops us from doing, and I think this is a really key thing to show this isn't being discompassionate, it stops us from actually exploring what's going on for us, because we can kind of go, this is what's happening at this time of the month, this is what's happening at this time in my life, and that's the end. This is just, it's like we're victims to this thing that's happening to us, rather than being able to go, okay, I'm feeling a little bit, this way in this moment. Yes, I'm getting my period, or I'm going through menopause. This is starting to happen. But what else am I noticing about myself? What are the
Mm.
thoughts that I'm having day to day? And the more that we can kind of start to unpack that, understand them, bring love to them, the more the pains of the body may start to dissipate as well. And it's
Mm,
not to say that we're not going to go through menopause, or we're not going to have any pains of our periods. We might not, but it can prolong the process a little bit. It can, or at least make it a less painful process as we go through it.
mhm.
Um, so that's definitely, I mean, I've had clients, who have had severe, period pains, and
Yeah, so have I.
through a coaching process, those pains month to month have got
Mm,
better. And and then we start to pay attention to, one month they may be worse, another month they may be better. So what's happening
mm.
within that month, rather than just whether it's our period or not our period, what else is going on for us?
And
um
I think
yeah.
I really agree with that, because I think as I've done more work, I've definitely gotten better in that space. But my hormones aren't erratic and I'm not subject to them. When you sit in retrospect and hold the mirror up to yourself often enough, when things are showing up in your body, in your life, in your emotions, it's just a communication to reflect.
Exactly.
It's really just a communication. I think what happens is when we put things so quickly into the box, oh, it's just my hormones. Oh, it's just this. We miss out on the exploration that
Yeah.
was invited for us. We were invited
Yeah.
to explore what was going on, but we missed it.
Yeah, I
And
totally
therefore the
agree.
roller coaster begins.
Totally agree. And as you say that as well, what comes to mind is what can also happen in relationship, right? So men and women, we're so different. And when she's on her period, I've just got to stay away. And she might say, you don't understand me because I'm a woman and this is what I'm going through this month. And this is where, because I was watching an interview the other day of this couple, and it was this kind of thing that was going on between them, where I was on my, you don't understand me. And I was thinking, for her, full compassion, but does she understand what's going on for her? Because what happens is they're having this argument. It ends that
Mm,
she's got her period, that's why she's acting like that. She ends on that as
yeah.
well. It's my whole, you don't understand me. But the point is, he won't understand her, not because she's a woman on her period, but because he won't understand her, because there's not a level of communication. And something I think in that particular dynamic was, there was something around her being upset that he wasn't coming to visit her,
Mm-hmm.
and they put it down to her having her period. Maybe if they'd explored a bit deeper, she might have some rejection shit going on. She might have some
Yeah.
wounds within her that they don't get to explore and discuss together and unpick and understand about herself firstly, and him to
Mm-hmm.
understand her, because it ends at, you don't understand me because you don't have periods.
Yeah.
And this is again where we're limiting ourselves as women, as
Mm-hmm.
humans, in just allowing ourselves to go, this is the diagnosis, and
Yeah.
this is where it ends,
Yeah.
whatever diagnosis or label we're giving ourselves, right? Regardless of
And
whether it's this.
also, you don't understand me, but like you said, I don't understand me. I haven't done the work.
Yeah,
I'm just saying you don't understand me from a physiological point of view. Well, that's a given on any day of the week. Like,
exactly. Yeah,
hello, that's, basic. But if we're
yeah,
talking about it emotionally, and, I remember saying that over and over, being in that hormonal phase, being like, you don't understand me, but I didn't understand me. I didn't know what I was feeling. I didn't reflect. I was just waiting for the chaos to pass. And
yeah,
I think, when I was working with my clients, one of the things that always came up was hormones and reactions, and the amount of self-loathing and blaming women experience after that time of the month. And I guess they might feel it in menopause. Oh, I reacted this way. I did this. I did that, which to some level might be true. But also, my question is, what is that trying to reveal to you? What is the reaction? Have you been suppressing something all month? Have you been feeling a certain way but didn't bring it up or didn't say it? Because obviously we're so taught to control ourselves and not speak our truth. Guess what? The time of the month comes or menopause hits and we want to burn everything down because we're tired of holding it together.
yeah, for sure. I totally agree. Yeah, it's heightened in those moments in that month. But again, what message is the potential to take away from it?
Yeah.
As you say, am I carrying shame, guilt? Am I judging myself throughout the month anyway? And again, it's
Mhm.
just this time of the month or this time in my life where it's heightened. Like with anything, something can happen in our lives where something's heightened. This is exactly the same thing. Not to be discompassionate again, but all of these things that we label ourselves as, the different labels that we give to ourselves, if we get meta to it, if we go bird's eye view of it, they're all kind of, you know, amplifying something else that we could be looking into if we didn't just end it at the label.
Yeah. So I think that's a really interesting, nice segue into the menopause label.
Yeah.
Um, what is your perception of how society has presented this menopause label?
I mean, it's pretty dire, right? It's kind of the end of the end, right? We
I'm
are,
surprised
yeah.
we haven't walked off into the woods and just laid down and died ourselves. I mean, why not? Far out.
Yeah. So I think it's, yeah, I mean, there's not too much, yeah, kind of positive spins on it. And I guess, you know, there's as we age, that's also not looked at to be too great. And yeah, so I think it's kind of like the ending of something, right? So yeah, but it's just not
Is
too
that how
positive in it.
you're experiencing it? I mean, we're both the same age. I think we're both 46.
Mhm.
I don't have symptoms or anything yet, but hence I want to start talking about this because I'm going into this with a different mindset. I'm going
Totally.
into it like to kick ass and rule the world, my world anyway. But,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
how are you feeling? How do you feel like you're going into this?
I mean, no different to how I've ever felt before in my life. Yeah, I mean, I haven't, as in, there's nothing that has happened in theory to make me go, oh my God, this is impacting me. And I'm interested to see how this process is. And as I say, there's this kind of hope that the work is being done internally, that it won't be experienced as severely as I hear, you know, the horror stories that do happen for people. So I can only speak from, you know, a place of hope, I guess, that maybe because I don't buy into it having to be a certain way, hopefully it won't be that way. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, for now there's nothing that's, yeah, of any concern in that way.
Yeah.
So
And it's
yeah,
interesting
yeah.
because I am also meeting younger women who are very concerned, you
Okay,
know?
interesting.
So,
Right. Yeah,
yeah.
right.
So, as much as I'm meeting women who are 40 plus 50 who are doing amazing things, I'm meeting younger women who are like, oh God, no. And I don't want to think about that. And,
Okay.
so there's
How
this
young are we talking?
30s,
Right,
35, you know,
right. Do they want
because
kids by any chance? I don't know.
yeah, definitely. Some of them
Yeah,
already have kids, some of them want
right.
kids. I
Yeah,
think, but they're really stuck in the paradigm of, oh no, we're just gonna like, we've got to
yeah,
have our periods and then we've got to have menopause and oh, I don't want to even think about it. Da, 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 da. Like,
yeah.
there's anxiety and fear there. There's
Yeah, yeah,
anxiety and
yeah, yeah,
fear.
yeah. And I think there is, for, you know, as we look at that, you know, some people worry about aging. You know, a lot of people, their birthday
Yeah.
comes around and they go, oh, but others don't. So I would probably guess that there's a similarity happening there. It's like,
Yeah.
and what are we
Yeah.
looking at here potentially? We're looking at the mind program. So are they worst case scenario thinkers, for example?
Mm.
Are they worst case scenario thinking about many elements of their life, and they talk about menopause as another one, right? And I think
Look,
that's the thing. It's like, if we get beyond just what the thing is, the label again, are we now going into, are we fearing it more because of the programs that have been running us since we were
so that
kids?
was interesting. So you're saying get rid of the label, I'm scared of menopause, I don't want to get older. And what is the program? Is it worst case scenario? Is it what's the other
Future focus, because if
future
they're that young as
focus? Yeah.
well, they're in their 30s, they're going,
Yeah.
yeah. Probably externally referencing, so they're seeing the experience of other people happening, and they're
Mhm.
believing that if that's what's happening, that's what's going to happen to me. Distrust versus trust,
Mm.
distrusting that they're going to be okay.
Yeah.
So yeah,
And
be
I
a lot to
personally
go
run
through.
all these, like not as a primary anymore, but they come up,
Yeah.
aging and youth, because it's so
Mm.
drilled into my mind from the
Yeah,
90s.
yeah, 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 yeah,
It's
totally.
really it's terrifying. And what's terrifying is that whole 90s vibes is coming back.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So is it the age, the number age that freaks you out, or is it the
Oh,
physical aging?
is it I think, look, psychologically, I feel most clear and most empowered and you know, amazing. But the the youth thing, it does get you. And I guess because growing up, my mom used to always worry about her age. And
Got you. Yes.
so automatically now I worry about my age, even though honestly, I was a lunatic in my 20s. Please. Not going back there. She was a crazy bitch.
No, I hear you.
Like if you asked me to go back there, I'd be like, no, no, hell no. So really, I'm in the best place possible, but it's just, I think and it comes down to I think the male gaze. And I read a book the other day, a friend of mine recommended to me, and it was all about decentering men.
Okay.
And
Tell me
so
more.
I'm putting these things into boxes now, and you're going to unpack them. I know
What
that.
does what does that mean about men?
Well, it's so if you decenter men, then your
Right.
whole life isn't consumed about being desired by them.
Right. So if
And
you, yeah, if you
yes, and
stop
that's
pedestaling
definitely
them, kind of
shifted
thing.
for
Yeah.
me
Okay.
amazingly, and it made me feel so empowered because there wasn't this peripheral vision of me going, "Well, am I desired? I don't fucking care."
Right.
Do you know
Got
what I mean?
you.
So the age thing
Mm.
is shifting. Like, desire me,
Yeah.
don't desire me, and I think that's a real that can assist the perimenopause state. And obviously, I'm preaching more like it. I'm speaking from a place of my own personal experience and also the world we live in and how it's centered. And, I'm probably being a bit black and white. So unpack me.
No, I'm just no. I love. I guess the question that comes up was if you're not if once you've decentered the man that you've done, where and you no longer have that concern about being desired by them, who's desiring who?
What do you mean?
Well, what have you come to? If it's not about them needing to desire you, what
Yeah.
have you replaced that with, or what have you found within yourself within that?
That I desire to use my mind,
Okay.
that I desire to expand my mind in ways that are amazing and fulfilling,
Yeah.
that I
Yeah.
desire experiences and adventures that are fulfilling,
Yeah.
that the excitement that I used to get from a man looking at me is different to the excitement I'm getting from having an adventure on a river or,
Yeah.
just the presence
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
nature.
Yeah, yeah, I love it. Yeah. And I guess that thing of is it now the desire was never about them desiring you anyway, and it was always about you desiring you potentially, and
Exactly. I knew you were
yeah,
going to
it's
take
kind of that realization.
Yeah, look, and definitely that's the thing because I didn't have any concept of that desire your own self,
Mm, yeah,
and I guess decentering men is putting it all on them.
exactly.
Um,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I think moving into this menopausal era, something happens to women's brains and we just go, no, like I'm not I either we realize we really want to look after ourselves and we really want to enjoy the next 40 summers and 40 Christmases,
Mm, mm.
or we get really depressed by the whole experience.
Mm, exactly. So we choose, right? We choose. And I think it is that it is a difficult one because it is, as we talk about there, it's like there is an aging of the body. So personally with me, the number age has never bothered me. I think I prepare myself quite well for it as a, worst case scenario thinker. Is always a preparation. So I'm already saying the age that
Yeah.
I'm not a year in advance. I found that I've
Yeah.
kind of forgotten. I'm already at that because I'm already thinking at that. So by the time it comes round, it's fine. So the
Yeah.
number has never bothered me, but definitely the actual, seeing the physicality, seeing the maybe the hair getting a bit thinner, seeing those sorts of changes happening. They're the things that definitely I thought I'd never be bothered about things like that, but when it's actually happening, it's going, okay, this is who am I without this, who am I without? And that's where it goes, okay, well, if it's not about the looks anymore, I better fucking get really good at this work.
Yeah.
So then it is the wisdom. So the wisdom's not just in the wrinkles, but the wisdom's actually there in what I'm talking about and all the rest of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
And
that's
and I
to be
guess
honest,
like
like, yeah,
it's a
yeah.
shifting of value, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's the
for
external
sure.
value shifting to the internal value.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
that's really special. But I do see young girls who already have their internal value. And I think, wow,
Yeah.
I was
Do you know that they do really internally, or are you just seeing it?
I don't know. Look, I don't know. This next generation's a little bit different.
I don't know if they are. I don't
You
know.
think
I think
not?
there's a lot of bravado. Human, I think, the more I quiz people on this stuff, regardless however confident they look, you get them into it, and we're all fucked, right? We've all got shit running. It's just how good is our mask, and I
So you
think
think this queendomness you can only get after you go through the stage of menopause, truly? Or do you think you can have it beforehand? This self-love, this internal valuation of self. I mean,
I
maybe we
think
were,
it's down to the individual, and it's not based on before or after anything, right? I just
but
think
if we
it's
were generalizing, if we were broadly doing some research all over the world, do you think more likely,
don't know. Honestly, I could not answer. I could.
she's like, I'm not
There's a
playing
part
that
of me
game.
that kind of goes, I've been through my phases of when I was younger. I was like, oh, was I more confident? Then I started doing this work, and I was like, no, surely this is my own, my most confident part. And then something happens in life, and then I'm going, actually, maybe I was more confident than that. So I'm in my own, not really. It's moment to moment, right? And
It
I
is.
so I don't know. It's nothing that I've kind of seen enough of or paid attention to kind of have an opinion on the generalized view of whether it's before or whether it's after. I mean, I think there's something in, we hear potentially women saying that when they get older they're more comfortable within themselves. That can definitely be heard. But then I'll hear women of a certain age also saying that they were much more, unbothered when they were in their 20s. So again, I think it's
Yeah.
an individual perspective based on our memories of what we may have been like, our limited
Yeah.
memories of how we were in the past. And I don't know. Yeah, I'm not in a position to make
Yeah.
to make that
So I think the real thing is if there are women moving into this era feeling empowered, broadening their mind, building giant businesses, and really living their heart's work. And I know I'm meeting them. I'm meeting
yes,
them. And I'm like, wait a
amazing.
minute, what is this? I want this. This is how I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
Um, uh, how do we tap into that?
Yeah.
How do I tap into that story and make sure
Yeah.
I stay on that course rather than
Yeah.
get caught up in all the other things that may or may not happen to me?
Yeah. So it's what are we paying attention to, right? And being really clear. I think this is where this will go, is like if people are listening to this and resonating with this, it's like to watch where has your focus been placed. So even if you look at yourself over the last 24 hours or the last week, where is your thinking leading to
Mm,
your feeling? Where has that been placed? And if it's being placed on that more kind of positive, outlook on it, then you're going to be probably feeling that way. If
hmm.
you notice yourself being more on that other side of it, on the more downside of it, then that's going to be the reality of it. So as with every conversation that we have, it comes back to, identify what's happening within and see, is it really true about here and now, or is there something that I can maybe tap into, that maybe I am more of a worst case scenario thinker, maybe
Hmm.
I'm more on the best case scenario side. What are we, is there anything new really playing out here? Or if we actually look back into our past, have these programs been running us, and that is actually what's showing up right now as we're in this time of getting towards the
Mm,
menopause or in the menopause or whatever. So it's, and I think it is true, like when I speak to people that are more on the enthusiast side, the optimistic side, their stories will be, oh yeah, I had my menopause, I went through menopause, yeah, but it's okay. And you're kind of hearing them talking, as they do in their more enthusiasm, and the people that are more on, maybe a different sort of personality type will have. So I will hear the stories of the personality feed into the experience of whatever's happening for us in that moment with, menopause. So I think that's the thing, is becoming really clear. If we're really bogged down in the fact that this is menopause, this is my period and all the rest of it, just checking in with self.
mm,
Is this really just about what's happening right now? Or can I help myself by realizing that maybe there's a program that's running that maybe would be really helpful at this point in my life to start to
yeah.
work on, so that I can, start
Yeah.
to change. So I'm not doomed, I'm
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
doomed for the rest of my
And
life.
I think it's so important to, if you're on social media, if you're wherever you're at, curate your feed.
Mm.
Don't just be blindly fed information. This is the thing. Social media is there and it does blindly, the algorithm spit out whatever you click on. If that's how you're scrolling and that's how you're using it, it's going to continually give you the loop of your doomsday is coming, your time is up, your value is gone. Boom.
Yeah.
But if you're following empowered women, if you're following successful women, if you're following women that are feeling good and sexy, because guess what? We be sexy after 45, my friends. We are sexy. We still like to feel sexy. Like, hello, that's what my feed is at the moment. I like to spend time. I'll refresh my whole feed. You can go into social media and you can refresh your whole feed and recurate what you want to be seeing. Again,
and it's all, watching within that, it's like, what do you, and I think it's that observatory place as well. What am I comfortable watching? Because for some people it may make them feel a bit shit as they're watching other women, right? Because the comparison is a massive thing why people get annoyed with social media as well. So again, it's about watching what you're watching and watching yourself as you're watching it and seeing how am I feeling about this, what am I choosing to feel in the face of whatever it is I'm watching, and what would be the most beneficial and helpful to me,
and look, I would shy against following celebrities because that's an unrealistic life, with trainers and chefs and a lifestyle that's very different to the regular person. I think I enjoy following women who are just regular women who have overcome things and who are feeling good in their skin. But again, yes, it's got to be someone you're aligned with, and if I say this a lot as well, because I think if I was to follow a very tiny Caucasian woman who's been an athlete her whole life and now is like looking and feeling amazing at 50, I don't know if that would align for me, because I cannot see myself in you.
Exactly. And that's what we're looking for, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So
our potential for sure.
I cannot see my potential in you.
So
I align to more women of color who have the same type of body, and that's where you want to rest your attention.
That's it. Absolutely.
And that's that whole I like you because you're like me. In this instance, I think you can use that to your benefit.
Absolutely. I love that. Whereas I like to watch a lot of old men talking about near-death experiences and, how consciousness doesn't exist anymore and all of this. So I don't know what that's saying. Maybe that's my future, right?
Yeah. I mean, that's actually what I watch before bed. I mean, that's also my favorite. But when I'm looking at the videos of different people, quite senior citizen people talking about their NDEs, that's also where I aspire to be consciously. So there is,
and that's it, isn't it? It's totally there. So it is that thing, as you say there, it's about watching what it is that makes us feel good, inspired, all the rest of it, and not just watching the stuff that is winding us up. And if it is winding us up, there's an opportunity there to have a look into what's going on for us as we get wound up by it, because there's a learning in everything. So again, it's to watch it and just be berating self, judging self or whatever, blah, blah, blah. But if you're watching it and you keep, because I have people that I speak to that are obsessed with watching stuff about Gaza and the wars and all the rest of it, and they are,
that's hard.
For them it's like it's painful and they've got anxiety, but there's still a need to have some sort of control maybe, and so they keep paining themselves watching this. This is another thing for us to pay attention to. So when we work on this stuff and we coach to it, it's like, what's the positive intention of watching the stuff that isn't making you feel great? And so if we are doing that and that is coming up and we seem to be just in this thing of what we call doom scrolling, instead of seeing it as just doom scrolling, start to see what is it, what can I learn about myself from the fact that I am doing this and paining myself with this content that I'm watching. So if you're doing it and you're going, it's not a waste of time, if you start looking into the reason why you might be doing it, then you'll get something beneficial from it. So
step outside yourself.
Absolutely.
I think if you're down the rabbit hole and you are beginning to sense the rumblings of a lower vibration thought pattern or feeling, move your body in a completely radical way, go outside, or step outside yourself. Just step outside and have a look. For me, that's what works. And obviously, I say this from a place of privilege, and I've been doing this a long time, and I know this is not everyone's experience. So full disclaimer, we've been on this journey ridiculous amount of time, and we're still doing it. We're still doing the work. I'm not even going to call it work anymore. I'm going to call it pleasure. I'm doing the pleasure. Because I just don't know why. I just want to keep reframing everything. I want to reframe menopause. What was that?
To the positive, the 7.
Yeah. But I used to be, I am, and sometimes I am worst case scenario, very worst case scenario.
Sure.
But that's how I used to be. The minute I realized I could shift it, it happened so quick.
Yeah, for sure.
Now my brain wants to do it with everything, and it wants to do it with menopause. And I want to rename it. I said to my daughter, I want to rename menopause the Queendom era.
Love that.
And she said, "You're so cringe." She actually just paused, and because she's in media marketing, she just went, "Oh, so cringe." And she's like, "But it's fine because it works for your brand." And I was like, wait, is this a compliment? Is this an insult? I want to take everybody along on the journey. I want all women to start feeling a little bit excited about perimenopause, about menopause. Like, can we go there? Can we go there?
It's kind of like the more excited we feel, or the better we feel about it, the more pleasure, the easier it's going to be in theory. The more we may delay the inevitable, but we may. So I think it's definitely there's something very powerful in definitely in the meaning that we're giving it and the experience that we will have of it. So, or we're having of it. So totally hear you on that.
Though, is that I had my children young. My children are grown. I've had children, they're grown. The way I'm experiencing this era is very different, because a lot of women waited to have children. I've got friends that have had kids later. So I would love to be able to understand, what's it like to not have children or to have children later, and what is that experience? Can you still be excited? I feel like I've done it all.
Candice, remember that you're going to ask one person, and then you're going to ask another person, and they're going to have had the same children at the same age or whatever, same whatever, but their experience will probably not match. So you will never, in theory, get your own understanding through someone else, in theory, because you are still you, regardless of what age you had your kids at.
Exactly, so because I feel a little bit like, people, I could be annoying a lot of people. Especially,
but we will do anyway. Anyone with any sort of strong opinion on anything is going to polarize.
They're saying, well, good for you. Your kids are grown. You've got to have, your life's different. You're living your truth. I'm still stuck in the throes. I've got toddlers. I'm still figuring it out.
Totally. Absolutely.
So this I do want to express. There's always
as long as we have conversations, they be polarizing. People will have or just not care, right? So it's please everyone all of the time, but the message that you're putting out there is the one that you want to put out there, and it will resonate with those that it resonates with, and others will go on their own, will be on their own journey, and it will be different, and they'll listen to whoever they need to listen to, and we can't bring everyone with us, right? That's
that's my story. That's my problem. I want to bring the whole bang lot. So you're in Bali and you're meeting a lot of interesting women. And you have some friends that are mature and some that are younger. What is your observation of the mature women's menopause experience? Or what have they shared with you?
I can't really say that we talk. It's not something that I really talk about with. It's not coming up. Yeah.
Interesting. See, nobody wants to talk about it.
It's just not, I don't know whether they don't want to talk about it for whatever reason, but I can't say that I sit around and, periods are probably more of a bigger discussion around the people that I hang around with more, I guess. But again, or at least what I'm watching and observing a lot of the time. I guess when I'm with my friends with whatever we're on, I don't spend a lot of time with people, so it's probably not
Yeah. Yeah.
as much as I would have done previously, let's say. So
Mm.
when we're together, I don't know, there don't seem to be subjects that, maybe it's because they're not of massive, huge, um, I guess maybe they're not impacting them as hugely. That's why we're not talking about them. I don't know. But
Mm.
yeah, it's not
And
something
so
that I'm,
as you
yeah.
get to this age, I mean, I'm going to say, like, I would be lying if I said I, even though as good as I feel, as empowered and amazing and all that jazz, that I didn't sometimes compare myself to younger girls.
Okay. Tell me more. Tell me more.
I don't want to.
Oh, okay.
No, okay. So, I mean, it doesn't happen a lot, but it can come up,
Yeah.
like it will be just a little bit in my, it's not when before I did this work, yeah, I was super insecure, super jealous, but now it's like it's better, but I don't know, just lately I don't know, just something of a flicker, like I feel, oh, like when people ask me my age and then they're so much younger, and then I'm like,
Mm,
comparing myself to them, going, that's right, my daughter's your age.
interesting.
It's,
Yeah.
and I don't know what that is.
What do you think it might be?
I mean, basic 101 insecurity,
Mm,
right? Peel that
mm,
back.
mm,
Worth, value, again.
mm.
It's weird because you can know two things at the same time as a truth,
Yeah,
and they can contradict each other.
for sure. Yeah,
The
for sure.
truth is that I'm older and I'm not going to be as pristine as someone younger. I use that word loosely because I think I'm pristine, but also that I have wisdom and knowledge that is just priceless.
Mm. Did you compare yourself when you were younger?
Oh yeah, I mean, I grew
Yeah,
up
that's
in white
yeah,
Australia. I was not really.
yeah. So this is where, because I can totally resonate with what you're saying, and every time that comes up, I go, is this about age or is this about the comparison program that has been running all of my life? And that's what I come to. Because we will always have a story about what we're not. We're not young anymore. We're not, white,
Mm-hmm,
whatever. We're not, skinny.
mm-hmm.
We're not big. We're not, got no ass, whatever it is. It doesn't matter what age we're at. We're always going to be comparing if we're going to be comparing.
And that's so true. I have been comparing
We're
myself
just
my whole life.
looking, yeah, we're just
Yeah,
looking for what reason can I give myself? Oh, it must be my age now. Whereas
yeah,
before it was this, and I'm totally exactly
yeah,
the same. Yeah, I'm comparing myself to myself. Like I was literally
yeah,
there in the mirror earlier, and I was like, it would be really interesting to have the skin that I had when I was, in my 20s, that everyone used to tell me was such good skin, right? Or in my teens, and I never thought it was because I didn't know what it was. This is so interesting. And then I thought, in 20 years' time, you're going to be wishing you had the fucking skin that you had now. So just look in that mirror and be appreciative of this face right now.
exactly,
Just going
exactly.
to keep
That's what I
going.
say to myself as well. Exactly,
Yeah, yeah,
exactly.
yeah,
In 20 years' time, what will I be saying?
yeah.
I look back now and go, wow, she was really beautiful and she was so hard on herself.
Yeah,
She was
exactly.
absolutely hard. Do you think media and marketing, look, I know it's always subjective to the personal experience, but do you think they've had a hand in making, I hate using that word, making women feel this way? Like men don't feel this
I
way.
don't think it's about them making us feel this way. I think that's the under responsibility. I think we make ourselves feel this way in the face of it. And we sit there and we say this, and I hear people saying it all the time. And I'm looking at some of the people saying it, going, you are one of those people that people are jealous of, that they're feeling shit about. So you are making people feel shit, but it's not your intention. So it can't be you making them feel shit. It can only be them
Yeah,
making themselves feel shit in the face of you. And this is where, for me, it always comes back to get rid of it all, get rid of it all, and be surrounded by yourself, which you'll compare yourself to your younger version of yourself, or get rid of it all and just be surrounded by your friends and family, and you'll be comparing yourself to your friends and family. It doesn't
yeah,
matter. There's another, which there'll
yeah.
always be, the minute we get this thing at around 10 months old, we are in comparison right from there.
Do you think men are as in comparison as much as
Yes.
women?
Yes,
Really? In
absolutely.
what way?
Yes. In every way that you compare yourself, they will too.
But why
There's
would
no
they walk
difference
around
between
with
men
so
and
much
women.
audacity?
The only difference is that we are allowed to talk about it and they're not. That's the difference. So actually they have it harder than us, I would say. Because at least we can be vulnerable and talk about it. And it's like they can't, because then they're not manly if they're going to do that. So
Oh,
absolutely.
you're
Yeah.
gonna ruffle some feathers with that comment. Awesome. That's what you're here for.
But it's true.
Look,
It's like, it's like that. It's, I think it's becoming, definitely, we can see the change now of men, speaking more. A few years ago, absolutely not. A man with an eating disorder, a man with, looking in the mirror for long. There's often times that I'm at this gym with all these beautiful people, and there's often times where I walk in the toilet and a man's like doing his hair, and I'm just laughing because I'm like, they're not supposed to be doing that, but why shouldn't they be? If a girl was doing her hair like that, it would be absolutely okay. I wouldn't be thinking
yeah,
anything. But seeing a man there and flexing or doing whatever,
yeah,
exactly the same as a woman would be if she's looking at herself in the mirror, maybe sucking herself, sucking her
yeah,
belly in or whatever. It's no
yeah.
different. It's like, and I love the fact that it's becoming more okay for men to be like women and to be able to show that insecure side
Mm,
and to be bothered about their appearance and their looks. And I've dated people that, not that they took, because I take quite a long time to get ready, but they did take their time getting ready. And they took, they spent time doing their hair and all of this. And it's like, why
mm-hmm.
shouldn't they? And I was really surprised. I was like, why are they so bothered about what they're wearing? And then, as I started to do more of this work, I realized because they're no different from us, they
Yeah.
are no different. So,
So I wonder if the key to the kingdom and queendom era is to let go of comparison.
yeah,
I,
wouldn't that be the gift?
I,
Yeah,
I would, I feel
yeah,
like, because obviously as I mature, comparison is less, and that's what's
yeah,
happening. Value, internal value up, comparison less, and those moments of comparison are not, they're fleeting.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, I wonder. I mean, if can I boldly say that if we relinquish comparison in an ideal world, we get to become king and queen of it.
For sure. Be a much nicer place to live, right? We'll be loving ourselves much more, in turn, less judgmental of others. So yeah,
But I wonder if
absolutely.
that, I guess we'll never have that really, because the whole point is contrast is growth.
Well, let's see what the AI and the robots do for us, eh? We're all just gonna look the same.
Oh
And
my
we'll have
God.
no emotions to get emotional and compare
Well,
to.
exactly. What will the robots do for us?
Well, maybe they'll show us what it's really like to not care, unless, as we said, the souls start transcending into them, and then we'll be just as fucked as we are now, and there was never any hope of us being saved.
Yeah. I mean, but we have so many things that minimize our emotions and suppress
Mm,
how we're feeling.
mm. But
Uh,
it's not to minimize them, it's to transcend them, because emotions
yes.
are a construct of mind that lead to the emotions. And
Mm,
it's not to say we bypass them by not pretending they're not there, because they need to be transcended through and felt in order for us to really become the truest versions of ourselves, which is unemotional. And I know that sounds, this is where people turn off, but emotions are created, energy, emotion created through
so
our thinking.
emotions is a human's construct,
Yeah,
not a source energy
no,
construct, not a, it's not part of that,
no,
what that
we
other.
create. No. And
So
energy in motion, the energy that it's like the sensations arise and they fall. But as the sensations arise, if we hold on to that sensation and we start to make meaning of it, that's how we create emotion. We start to think about things. How do we create tears? It's through a thinking process. We
mhm.
cry because we're thinking about things that make us. How do we stop ourselves from crying? Stop thinking about it, which isn't the ideal, because if it's there, it should be cried and processed through.
Mm.
But do that enough, work on the emotions enough, and we become less emotional.
So let go of comparison, transcend emotion, then we're king and queens. And
I think that could be
but
another
then we're
topic.
robots. Is it,
But why are we creating something if it's not to improve us? We can't get our
well,
heads around this. We're kind of in this thing of going, what robots, but then we're using the robot, we're using the app, we're using it all, so we want it. So
We do.
it's being created as something, as an improvement of us, to be smarter than us, to be better than us, and then we're kind of going, then we're comparing ourselves to it, but we're creating it because we're not happy within the way that we are. So we're creating a more perfect, more perfect version of ourselves, but then we're annoyed because now we're comparing ourselves to something that, but
Oh
it
crap, we
wouldn't be
just
there being
created another
used.
thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Another
So
thing to compare ourselves to.
always, always.
So do you use AI?
I mean, I use AI like I would use Google. Like if I need to ask something,
Yeah.
but I'm not using it for things that people seem to be using. It was interesting. I was having this conversation with my dad last night, and he
Mm.
was saying, well, you surely you can learn stuff from, well, can you in your field of work? And I'm like, and ironically, my friend starts messaging me today everything that she's asked it about AI, and I'm reading it going, there's nothing here that I haven't heard from the people that I listen and learn from. So it's like,
Yeah.
what do I need AI for at the moment? It's not giving me the thing that
Mm.
says, be quiet, silence your mind, sit in meditation, no thoughts running, and become the non-becomable. That's, I mean, what else is AI going to give me beyond that in this field of work, in that sense? And I'm
Yeah.
sorry for people listening going, what the hell is she talking about? But it's like, it's like in
Mm.
this field of stuff, in the work, I listen to the people that are feeding the AI with that late stage stuff. So it's like, until it starts giving me something that I've not heard from the top experts in
Hmm.
this field, what do I need it for? I'd rather listen to a podcast of human beings telling me shit rather than just tap something into AI.
Exactly. And
Yeah,
it does make mistakes. So
yeah, as we
yeah.
do. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
And I
as we
think
do.
at the level of stuff that the stuff that I'm watching and listening to, it's all to be held lightly. None of it is to be believed. What people are saying about consciousness and this kind of inner work at this moment is going to be superseded in no time by the next level of stuff that we're discovering. So I listen to it and I
Yeah.
love it and I go, oh, this is great to know. But there'll be something next week or next month or next year that's going to
Yeah.
supersede and transcend that. So it's hold it all
Yeah.
lightly. And yeah,
So
that's
to recap, let go of comparison, transcend emotions, which doesn't mean don't feel them, but then
I think that's another
let them
call. I think we can do another
let them
call on that
go.
because
Yeah,
people
we
are going
need
to
another.
be listening
And
to that going,
then
that's ridiculous. Yeah.
what was the third thing you just said, which is completely lost me in a train of thought, is oh damn, I lost that.
Robots.
Robots, robots. Because I'm just trying to like ascertain for women going into this era how to get them excited about
Yeah.
what's coming.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Direct your attention
Yeah.
to
Absolutely.
to women that are already excited, to women that align with your values and beliefs, to women that you know are like you, so you can be like them.
Yeah.
That
And
alignment.
yeah. And allow yourself to have conversations about when you're not feeling that great. Are you
Yeah,
putting it down to menopause? Are you putting it down to my period, whatever? And if you are, is there any deeper that you might want to go? If
yeah.
you've got a partner, I'm especially talking men here, because if you've got a woman partner, in theory, you
Mm,
should both be knowing, but you don't, because you're both still
yeah,
going to be experiencing different things. So talk to your partner, regardless of whether they're a man or a woman, right? About your experience rather than just putting it down to I'm going through menopause or I've got my period. It's
yeah,
like, what else is processing for you? And there's kind of, the empowerment part of us is not to be disempowered by this thing that is happening. It's inevitable. Don't
yeah,
disempower yourself by thinking that that's the only thing. If there is thoughts associated with it and there's thoughts going on at these times, you can also empower yourself by understanding the mind and the body, the actual stuff that
hmm
the more emotional mind, emotional stuff, not just the physical.
yeah,
So
yeah. The exploration.
yeah,
Be curious about your experience, your pain, physical, emotional, that's coming up in this time, and explore, because it is an invitation for
yeah,
transformation.
absolutely.
And if you
Love it.
resist, it's going to feel like resistance in your body.
Yeah. And it's gonna hurt and the sweats and the everything is gonna be
Yeah,
20 million times worse, right? It's
yeah. But
yeah,
I don't know. We surrender to this. We surrender to the flow
yeah.
excitedly. And with,
We'll update on our progress
yeah,
of our next few years.
yeah, exactly. We'll have a recap. Well, it was nice talking to you as
Amazing to
always.
talk
That
to
was another
you.
rabbit hole,
Love it.
but really
Absolutely.
insightful. Really insightful.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Love these
yeah.
chats with
Because
you.
the comparison, it's been there my whole life and it's coming up at this age, but I've probably done it my whole life. So for anyone else that's comparing themselves to others.
Big one.
Thank
All
you.
right, then, my love. Thank you. Thanks for watching.
All right.